News Radio KMAN weather.
Sunny and 50 degrees currently in Manhattan, with winds to the south around 15 miles an hour and gusting as high as 26 miles an hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies and a low of around 34, with those winds to the southwest still around 5 to 15 miles an hour. Mostly sunny with the high near 50 on Saturday, with those winds gusting as high as 20 miles an hour to the west. Mostly cloudy and a low of around 30 on Saturday night, and Sunday mostly sunny with the high near 50. The game up next on News Radio KMAN.
Weather on News Radio KMAN is brought to you by Sunset Zoo. Memberships are a fun way to experience the zoo all year long and will make great gifts this holiday season.
The following is an exclusive presentation of News Radio KMAN, your home for K-State athletics. It's game time. This is The Game on News Radio KMAN.
Today's opening of the show goes out to the Kansas City Chiefs fans that want a new stadium. And they want that stadium to be in the state of Kansas because for you, Christmas could be coming early. And we'll get to those details here in just a little bit. Nothing's official, but it could be coming official very soon. Welcome to the game. Mitch Fortner, Cole Dutchendorf, and Gavin Hyatt. Mitch in Vegas. In an on-air Meet the Wildcats here in hour number one that we, because of no bowl game, had just one kind of sitting there waiting to be played. And so we're going to play that today. We don't want it to get a waste. Plus, just in case this cat decides to not be a cat here in a day or two or something. Plus, coming up in hour number two, we're going to squeeze him in. It's going to be late in the show, but Gene Taylor, K-State Athletics Director, is going to join us today, coming up in hour two. About 5:40 is when we hope to have him on, but he's squeezing us into his busy schedule, so we appreciate that. Mitch Palm versus South Dakota, and more K-State football players are jumping into the transfer portal. Said it a couple of days ago. This is the really crappy part of the offseason. And these are things that could happen if Chris Kleiman was still the head coach. And guys are opting to jump into the portal and go somewhere else. Is, once they get their NIL checks and they bounce, and for many reasons they could be leaving. It's just the painful part right now. That's why I still continue to say, be patient with our new head coach. Who, do we still agree we're kind of looking for a loss on Saturday morning?
Roll Canes.
Hate to be that kind of guy, but. If we're also trying to, bring along, a potential defensive coordinator from Texas A&M as well, priorities over others. You know what I mean? Let's immediately get to this Chiefs topic. This coming out yesterday. Kansas City media all over the place reporting on this. Now, bear with me because I'm going to speak in a language I don't normally speak. And I hardly understand it myself. I can barely read it. But I want to give you the details on what's been unfolding and what we are going to be potentially witnessing on Monday. It is a highly anticipated meeting coming up on Monday. But here are the details reported by everybody out east. The Kansas Legislative Committee is going to meet Monday and going to be taking one of the final steps towards luring the Kansas City Chiefs across state lines. So floating bonds worth, hundreds of $1 million, probably into the billions, with that star bond to build a domed stadium and an entertainment district in the Legends area. So the Legislative Coordinating Council, the LCC, will consider approving the sales tax and revenue, or the STAR bond, agreements with the Chiefs on Monday. And with those bonds approved, Kansas City would be moving so much closer. So much closer, almost a done deal. The Chiefs would be building, instead of renovating Arrowhead Stadium, they would be building a new stadium in the state of Kansas. So we could just be a couple of days away from that going through. A little bit of surprise. I'm surprised this was even talked about by somebody in the legislation. And I mean, this might be the most Republican, Democrat. We're
bipartisan.
We're crossing the aisle. We're coming together. We're making
Holding
a
hands,
change.
skipping.
We to make this happen. Kansas working together, folks. Both sides of the aisle. David Haley, who's a Democratic senator from Wyandotte County, came out and said on Thursday that he's hearing that the Chiefs are going to be heading to the Legends. And talked about that yesterday. I was very surprised to see that in some of the headlines, which the stadium, it sounds like it would be built right around Kansas Speedway. As a matter of fact, the Chiefs have been in negotiations with NASCAR for some of that land, and that's taking place. So this is a pretty interesting surprise that may come into full fruition on Monday. Of course, I mean, this goes back. I mean, Kansas really, the ball was in their court. You got to go back. God, what has it been now?
It's been a little while.
Has it been I'm trying to do the math here.
The last meetings were
18,
in June, but that was to basically extend the expiration date on the Star bonds, I think.
Sure.
Was when that happened. This goes back a couple of years, basically.
I'm going back to the sales tax vote in Missouri that didn't go through. That was probably...
It's been a while.
That's been middle of 2024. It's been a good a year and a half, if not more than that did not go through. And then Kansas comes swooping in and says, look, we're going to take care of 70% of this with our Star bonds. That's obviously a major chunk. Missouri's plan is only 50%, and Missouri wants to renovate Arrowhead Stadium. Kansas obviously wants to build a brand new stadium, and they're calling this a generational economic move that could take place for the state of Kansas, which, look, I'm not educated enough on this to get too into the weeds about what every step of this means and the dollars and cents and all that. I have just been very clear how I feel about this move. I think every Chiefs fan, it's not going to be easy for every Chiefs fan, but I think everybody should want an opportunity to build a state-of-the-art new stadium. But I understand why it could be hard because of the history, holding the Guinness World Record for the largest outdoor stadium. The Chiefs have been playing in Arrowhead Stadium since the mid-'60s. I get that history. But I take the selfish stance on this, and I'm not a Chiefs fan, so it's not near and dear to my heart as Arrowhead Stadium. I just like the possibilities, the economic driver, what it could do for the state of Kansas to build that stadium, and selfishly, I would like it in my state, 20 miles closer.
It's exciting for sure to see what all the possibilities can be in the areas that you've talked about it with, like potential Final Fours and more concerts or maybe bigger concerts would be the better way to put that. And there's a lot of different opportunities. Super Bowl potentially in the future. So there's a ton of things that come from the building of a new stadium. And I've always kind of been like, I don't really care either way because I've only been to one Chiefs game, and it was
really?
Yeah, it was a couple of years ago. It was like it was a freezing game. Like feet were ice blocks at the end of it.
Who wants to watch games in 0-degree weather?
Man, I'll tell
Anybody?
you what. It would have been a lot more comfortable to watch that game in a dome.
Was it that playoff game against the Dolphins?
It was a regular season game on Christmas Eve, so it would have been like 3 years ago, basically from next week. It was the Seahawks. They beat them pretty easily, but it was freezing, and my feet were just cinder blocks of ice. Anyways, getting away from the point, I don't have like the fans who are in Arrowhead, every week or every other, whenever they're playing at home. I don't have that perspective, but from a Chiefs fan's perspective, who has been following the team for basically as long as I can remember, I don't have yes, I understand the stance of there's a ton of history at Arrowhead, and there's no doubt about it, but I think the pros definitely overweigh that basically one con, because outside of that, I don't know if you can really point to like this is a bad thing. It's the one con is you're losing the history of Arrowhead Stadium, and then basically every single other thing is this is a good thing.
I mean, the plans that what Kansas has for the Chiefs if they were to make the move across state lines is it's somewhat similar to what a lot of people around K-State want to do around Bill Snyder Family Stadium. They want to build hotels. They want to build restaurants. They want to build a more of an entertainment district of what, it used to be back in the day. Aggieville was built by, the old stadium. And kind of want to get back to that, create that once again. And a lot of ideas to be another economic driver is what Kansas is trying to do, and pay 70% to the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, a couple of other notes about this. One, the Royals are not in this discussion.
Get them downtown.
Well, again,
they shut that down, but
trying
we
to
can
get
try
that
again.
downtown ballpark, trying to get that sales tax vote pushed, and the Missouri voters or whoever voted on it decided not to. That was a kind of a landslide win for the Nose. I think it was by like 20%. Wasn't even close.
It's such a no-brainer for Kansas. I honestly thought originally it was going to be whichever option is cheaper for Clark Hunt because he's a pretty frugal spender, even though they've got a lot of that oil money going back to the 1900s. But I'm kind of a little surprised that it's gone this way because a large part of me was thinking, well, yeah, even though Missouri covering 50% of the star bonds, that's still the 50% that the Chiefs are covering for the renovation of Arrowhead is probably going to be significantly cheaper than the 30% of a brand new facility that the Chiefs would have been covering. So I am a little surprised that the momentum is traveling in this direction, but I'm not mad about it at all. And also, the surrounding area of where Arrowhead and Kaufman currently stand, it's a dump.
Well, that's another argument of
it's
mine
a
as
dump.
Well, and some will argue with you though, Cole. Well, what are you there? Are you there to go watch a movie and go eat chicken cordon bleu at some restaurant? Or are you there to go watch a football game?
Well, it can be a little bit of both when you have not a dump around. Like, my goodness, it's terrible over there.
Yeah, it's not a great part. Not a great part of Kansas City. The other part of the notes I wanted to get to from this headline is that so for this actual meeting, we actually don't have an agenda. We don't know exactly what's going to be talked about, but the Chiefs are going to be at this meeting in Topeka. Like, they're going to be there. They're going to discuss the star bonds. And they're going to talk about what the Chiefs are pushing as a part of this deal. Other than that, we don't know really the details, but that's just what basically has been said by the media. There have been a couple of statements from the Kansas Legislative Committee, but no confirmed exactly what's going to go down at this meeting because nothing has actually been approved. But there are some hints that this could be approved on Monday.
I thought it was funny. There were some people on Twitter who were seeing the headlines and not understanding what was going down. Like, they're moving to Topeka? That's an hour outside of Kansas City. You're like, well, okay, calm down. We're just having a meeting on Monday. We're not moving the team to Topeka.
Look at the New England Patriots. They play an hour outside of Boston.
This is true.
Something like that. I think there's a couple of, San Francisco's not in San Francisco.
The Giants and the Jets both play in New Jersey.
That's about 15 miles out from NYC, something like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You got to take a train, get out there, drive your car.
Yeah.
I've been to a WrestleMania out there. I've actually been to one in Santa Clara as well. There's a good stadium out there.
I think the Bills aren't in Buffalo. They're in Orchard Park. Yeah.
Which I think that's pretty close, though.
It is.
Right?
But not technically in Buffalo. I think it's like a suburb, kind of similar to where the Chiefs, they wouldn't be in Kansas City. Like Legends isn't Kansas City. That's Overland Park more than it would be Kansas City.
Legends? No.
Is that closer to Kansas City than I'm thinking?
Well, you know what Legends is, right?
Yeah.
So it's pretty much right next to Bonner Springs.
Okay.
So I think that is Wyandotte County. So it's there north of I-70, Bass Pro Shop, or Cabela's or whatever the hell.
The Bonner Springs Chiefs. That's got a pretty good ring to it.
Yeah. I was going to mention Green Bay. Heck, Green Bay, the Packers Lambeau Field is right there in the heart of Green Bay. I think there's a school zone right next to it or something.
Sure.
And
they got it's like just a regular neighborhood right next to the stadium.
Boy, they may bank on Airbnbs.
I'm sure those are some pretty costly properties too, if you wanted to buy them out.
So sit tight on this one. Again, I am so much in favor of a brand new stadium. It wouldn't even be open for another 6 years. this stadium would not be ready to go. Well, because the Chiefs, I mean, their lease, there at Truman Sports Complex is through 2031.
Mm-hmm.
So we're still 6+ years out from even the Chiefs having a new stadium. I guess 6 years. We'll call it 6 years.
If and when it gets built, and if Mahomes wants to keep slinging the pigskin around, he's I think he only has one loss in domes, and that came actually this year to the Cowboys. So.
Oh well, how about that? And look who still has a chance to make the playoffs.
All you got to do is win out and need the Eagles to lose out.
The
Pretty
Dallas
simple.
Cowboys, yeah, and the Eagles are kind of sloppy these days.
Mm-hmm.
The Cowboys lost to the Vikings.
This is true.
I think the NFC stinks. I think the NFC stinks.
What? I think the NFC is better than the AFC.
I think the AFC is good. Did you see those Broncos? Did you see those Chargers?
I think whoever comes out of the NFC is going to win the Super Bowl this year. The Rams, the Seahawks, the Packers, the Bears.
It may be underrated. I'll give you underrated.
I think the NFC is deeper than the AFC. Who is legitimately competing for a Super Bowl in the AFC outside of like the Bills, the Broncos, and the Patriots?
We'll keep listing them.
The other teams that are in the neighborhood, like, are the Jaguars competing for a Super Bowl? No. Are the Texans? Maybe.
They're one of the best teams in the NFL. How dare you?
The Jaguars?
They've lost like 2 games.
4.
That's pretty damn good in the NFL. They're going to win their division.
NFC is better than AFC. There's no doubt.
They're going to be a 3 seed.
Yeah, 3 seed isn't that good when you look at the other 2 teams around them. You trust Bo Nix in the playoffs other than Matt Stafford?
Well, I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I mean, I'll give you the Rams probably have the best offense in the National Football League.
That game last night was fantastic, by the way.
Well, again,
It's a classic. Guess what?
Seahawks underrated?
2 NFC teams. I didn't even mention the 49ers. They're right up there, too.
All right, we got to take a break. But Cowboys, they may have
they beat
deeper.
the Chiefs.
They may have. Well, they may act. Does the NFC have more teams that are still able to make the playoffs than the AFC?
I just think top to bottom NFC. I mean, look at the crappy teams in the AFC compared to the NFC. NFC's got like the Saints. You'd probably put them in the bottom of the barrel. You go to the AFC, it's like a dime a dozen. The Jets, the Raiders, the Titans are terrible as well. The Browns.
I'll give you that.
Like, that's 4 teams that are probably in the top 5, and then the Saints are thrown into the mix. I enjoyed that. I like talking about football. So we don't get to talk NFL that often.
Well, and I'm not gonna lie, I haven't watched a ton of NFL this year. But I still stand by what I said.
Sounds like my dad saying the NBA sucks. I'm like, when's the last time you've watched it? 90s.
Yeah, the last time when Jordan was playing for the Wizards.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, let's do a little Mitch in Vegas. Let's do it in hour number 1. We have more than 6 games to pick. I fell asleep at the wheel. I forgot to put up a couple of bowl games. One's playing right now. I would have obviously picked NC State to beat
too. It was all over the Wolfpack.
In the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl, one of my favorites. We'll take a break, and we're going to pick all the first-round games of the college football playoff when we come back. The Game.
Miss part of the show?
No! God, please, no! No! No!
Really? Check it out on demand at 1350kman.com. You're listening to The Game on News Radio KMAN.
Apple cinnamon vibes floating in the air, glittering ornaments and lights everywhere. Then hit the panic, the list, the stress, the swirl. What gift will wow her, make her heart twirl? Something that sparks, deepens your connection, a token of love, pure affection. Unique and timeless, made to treasure, a piece that lasts, giving joy beyond measure. G. Thomas Jewelers has your back, finding the gift that's on the right track. Swing by 419 Points, they'll make it a breeze, and turn your holiday shopping into pure ease.
Hi, this is Carrie Hall. My wife Lauren and I are senior citizens like many of you. We've had a Blue Cross and Blue Shield Medicare policy for the last 10 years. Medicare Advantage and Medicare Supplement plans all across Kansas, with many with zero or very low premium. Call today at 866-692-3077 or online at bcbskansas.com. We pride ourselves on being your hometown carrier. We're Main Street, not Wall Street.
Not available in Wyandotte or Johnson County.
In Manhattan, building community means more than bricks and beams. It means innovation and partnership. At McCown Gordon Construction, we deliver feature-focused solutions to projects that shape our region. From advanced research labs to vibrant education, healthcare, and community hubs. We're not just building projects, we're building the future of the Flint Hills. with unmatched customer experience and value-driven strategies. We're building for tomorrow. Visit kansas.mccown-gordon.com.
At ESB Financial, we think it makes sense to pay you. That's right, get paid 5.04% annual percentage yield on balances up to $20,000 with our free Kasasa Cash checking account. We'll even refund your ATM fees nationwide, and the best part is there's no monthly service charges or minimum balances to keep. All you have to do to earn your rewards are a few simple things each month. The best part? These things make banking easier. Visit esbfinancial.com to learn more. Special terms may apply. ESB Financial, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hi, I'm Mike Ham with NFL Network now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Seahawks, they overcame a 16-point fourth quarter deficit to win 38-37 in a Thursday night overtime thriller over the Rams. That makes Seattle the new top seed in the NFC. After a Jackson Smith and Jigba touchdown catch made it 37-36 in overtime, the Seahawks went for two and the win, and they got it as Sam Darnold found Eric Saubert in the end zone. Seattle clinches a playoff berth with the win. Elsewhere, some key injuries in Saturday's NFC North showdown between the Bears and Packers. Chicago receivers Roma Dunze and Luther Burden have both been ruled out, while Green Bay's leading rusher Josh Jacobs is questionable and is expected to be a game-time decision. Jacoby Myers leads the Jag in catches and receiving yards since his trade from the Raiders 6 games ago. He gets a 3-year extension with the team. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
COVID-19 has cast a spotlight on the stark inequalities that drive poverty. The poorest communities in the U.S. and around the world are suffering the most. Oxfam believes we can put systems in place to protect health and livelihoods in the future if we work together with dignity and compassion. Learn how you can help offer safety to the most vulnerable and fight for a more resilient future at oxfamamerica.org. Sponsored by Oxfam America.
December deal drops at Lowe's are wrapping up, but there's still time to snag something worth bragging about. Get up to 40% off select major appliances. And members save an additional $100 on a new and exclusive Samsung French door refrigerator. Now just $18.99. Need new tools? Select tools and accessories are up to 45% off this week. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 12/24. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details.
I'm Gavin Hyatt with a Game Sports update brought to you by Bottle Cap Sports Bar. Friday has brought 3 new K-State entries into the transfer portal on the football roster. Defensive end Tobi Osusami plans to enter the portal, he announced via his social media on Friday. The Wichita native played in 6 games for the Wildcats before suffering a season-ending injury versus Baylor. He picked up 4 sacks on the season. Devin Voss, an offensive lineman from Florida, will hit the portal after completing his sophomore season with the Wildcats. Voss played in 11 of 12 games this season for the Wildcats. Linebacker Ralph Ortiz has also entered the portal. Ortiz had a scoop and score off a blocked punt in the Sunflower Showdown against Kansas. Saturday is the penultimate game of K-State men's non-conference schedule, as a 7-4 Wildcats will be in Bramlage Coliseum to host the 7-6 Coyotes of South Dakota. This will be the 11th game in series history, as K-State holds a 10-0 record all time. Tip-off is at 11 a.m., pregame at 10 on News Radio KMAN and 101.5 K-Rock. 7-6 K-State women's basketball begins Big 12 play on Saturday as they visit 12-0 and number 9 TCU in Fort Worth, Texas. Help has arrived as center position for K-State as 6'4" Slovenian freshman Ivana Skejic is officially with the Wildcats. Coach Schiff Mitty says there is a possibility she plays against TCU.
Did you hear in Bramlage, tomorrow morning it's Superhero Day?
I did see that.
And if you're into superheroes, there's going to be a bunch of them in the concourse, taking pictures, probably signing autographs. I'm not sure who's going to be there, but I'm sure some cool ones will be there. And
who's your favorite superhero?
You know, I'm not a superhero guy.
If you had to pick one?
Even my superhero growing up was Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
You know, or the Power Rangers. I'll give you the Power Rangers because 3 or 4, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, where some of it was filmed in America with the actual actors out of costume and all the fight scenes were Japanese. That was, watching those back, boy, you could easily tell those cuts. I'll get Power Rangers.
Sure.
No, like the Marvel stuff, the DC, like the movies and stuff, I'm not really into them. Batman's cool. Probably Batman is my my grab. You know, rich.
Yeah.
Ladies' man.
It's true.
Cool car.
He's kind of
doesn't need to fly. He just needs some gadgets.
Mm-hmm. The grapple gun or whatever.
Yeah.
Call it good.
All right, let's make some picks. But first, let's go back to last week's results and get you the updated standings. I have officially taken the lead. This is where I pull away, folks. I'm starting to get lucky. The kid is coming back. I went 5-1 last week for the second week in a row. The people go 2-4. They finally had a bad week. It's like the first time since week 3 they had a losing week or something like that. Cole, another 3-3 week.
Well, no matter what I do at this point, I mean, I'm trying to pick up games where you and the people are going the other way. No matter what I do, destined at mediocrity.
So I'm officially in the lead now. You're 12 games behind me, but there's still, time to catch up. I'm 56-46. The people 53-49, so I'm 3 ahead of them. You're 9 back of the people at 44-58.
The 1 week I went 0-6. That one still weighs heavily on my mind.
Well, tonight, the college football playoff officially begins with number 9, Alabama at number 8, Oklahoma. It's the Oklahoma Sooners favored by 1.5. And we probably need to step into the casino. I think there's a button right next to the Mitch in Vegas intro. It's casino sound effects. There we go. Now I'm clear-headed. When I get around the cigarette smoke and the free drinks, that's when I'm in the right state of mind. Anyway, the game is tonight, and I guess I get to go first. Again, the graphic was put out there the other day. Alabama had not lost to the same opponent in the same season twice in like 130 years.
It's been a little while.
I
wasn't alive.
They played Oklahoma earlier this year in Tuscaloosa. I feel like Oklahoma was kind of handed that win. Alabama's offense made a bunch of mistakes. There was a pick 6 early, basically spotted the Sooners a 10-0 lead. Can Alabama go into Norman and pick up the win? Oklahoma favored by 1.5. I honestly, I kind of agree with Vegas. I do feel like it's a coin flip. But is Kalen DeBoer, is there a foot out the door? I kind of wonder about that as well. Look, personally, I want Oklahoma to lose because screw them for everything they've done to college football. They've had a hand in. You know what? I'm going, my heart and my gut are kind of saying that go Alabama. So I'm going to go Alabama to win in Norman tonight. And the first road team in the college football playoff wins a game.
Do we have what the people want? I'm picking with what I want to occur in this game. As we mentioned yesterday on the show, our rooting interests are on different sides. I just don't like Alabama. Raised to hate them just because they're good, because everyone hates greatness in sports. I mean, look at the Chiefs, look at the Patriots. Look at the Lakers, look at the Alabama Crimson Tide. So I'll take OU to get it done.
If Kalen DeBoer is smart, look at what Ole Miss did to Oklahoma, because Oklahoma, their defense is incredibly good. Statistically, almost top to bottom, they're one of the best in the country. Ole Miss did a great job of moving the football. We'll pick them in just a moment. But first, the first game on Saturday, number 10 Miami and number 7 Texas A&M, College Station, Kyle Field. The 12th man going to be rocking. Colin Klein, I hope, is going to be on camera a whole bunch. Maybe wearing a little something K-State here, something little there. Maybe wearing some gloves and it's on his palms. But, yes, Colin Klein's still the OC at Texas A&M for this game, and it's A&M favored by 3 points. Again, the people want Oklahoma, the people want Texas A&M, so they're going chalk here so far. If I'm going to be the selfish K-State fan that I can be sometimes, I'm rooting for Miami. We need our boys to get here, get to work. Mine fully on purple, on Email. But Texas A&M should be the better team. Marcel Reed, when he's good, he's really good. Probably the best quarterback that Miami has seen all season long. Other than, I don't know if they played Cade Klubnik, but he's been, I don't think he'd been Clemson's problem. But Marcel Reed is probably outplayed. I would pick Marcel Reed probably over Cade Klubnik. Home field advantage. I'm going to go Texas A&M.
I will again pick with what I want to occur, and I want it to be a high-scoring loss for Texas A&M. And I do think the experience of Carson Beck will play into this one at some point. I think, he's been turnover-prone at points in his career, but he's also played in a ton of big games. So I'm going to side on that a little bit and take Miami to get the upset.
By the way, do you want to jump in on any of these here, Gavin?
Yeah, I was going to say, well, for the Alabama-Oklahoma game, I'm going to choose Oklahoma because I think Alabama's offense is pretty one-dimensional. I think they can't really run it, and obviously we know Oklahoma's defense is pretty dang good. So I'm going to go Oklahoma personally. They're also at home. So yeah, I'm going to go with Oklahoma for that game, and then Miami and Texas A&M. Obviously we want Texas A&M to lose, but in a high-scoring fashion, look good. They look good, whatever. The offense looks good. But I think I'm going to go Texas A&M for that just because they're at home. They have a really good quarterback. I think Miami, I still think it should have been Notre Dame over them, so to go in there. So I'm going to choose A&M for that.
Well, our third game, now we get into the Cinderella stories of this college football playoff, or what could be. Number 11, Tulane, is at number 6, Ole Miss. This is the afternoon kickoff tomorrow. Ole Miss, Cole, favored by 17.5. The people, they're going Tulane to cover. So, again, we're going by the Vegas line, so it's plus 17.5 for Tulane. These two teams have also played each other earlier this year. Of course, Lane Kiffin was coaching at the time. That's the big storyline, is what's going to happen to Ole Miss with no Lane Kiffin, which I think is a legit concern, honestly. But it was all Ole Miss, that first meeting. 45-10, the final score. But can Tulane get the green wave, a win at there in Oxford? I'm going to go Ole Miss on this one. I really don't have a reason. I think there's a couple of question marks, honestly, about Ole Miss. They're obviously the more talented team. Give me Trinidad Chambliss, however they say his last name. I'm gonna take the Rebels. The people like Tulane.
You don't even have to speculate on this. You've seen these two teams play this year, and it was a boat racing. And yes, Ole Miss scored a lot of points in that game, and that's what Lane Kiffin is. He's an offensive genius. That's his, claim to fame. Tulane scored 3 points through the midway point of the fourth quarter. That was a 45-3 game in the fourth quarter, and it's still in Oxford, just as the first game of the year was. And last time I checked, their defensive coordinator is still there. In fact, he's the head coach now. So I'm going to take Ole Miss to even. This is where I stop picking with what I want to occur and what I think is going to occur. I think Ole Miss is going to dominate again.
Yeah, I'm going to say I think it's going to be over at halftime. I think it's going to be Ole Miss all the way. Their offense is elite, and I think they're going to cover that spread pretty easily.
And now the other team that the college football national media is just completely writing off, giving them no shot. There's no chance. They don't even deserve to be in the college football playoff, is 12 seed James Madison at number 5 Oregon. The Ducks, a 20.5 point favorite. The winner of this game will play the winner of Texas Tech in the next round. That'll be in the Orange Bowl. Guys, we're completely overlooking one key thing about this game. We got a 12 versus a 5. If you look at basketball, there's always a 12-5 upset in the NCAA tournament. However, there's never been one in the college football playoff. Could this be the time? My answer is no, but just to make things a little interesting, I will go with James Madison to cover, plus 20.5. The people, by the way, won Oregon.
I love the story. I think it's been fantastic. I think all the bantering from James Madison and Oregon fans on social media has been fantastic. the Dukes have played one Power 4 team this year. That was Louisville. They lost by 14 to Louisville. And Louisville went 8-8 or 4-4 in ACC play, and we all know ACC, not the greatest conference. I think the talent disparity is going to be on full display. I think they'll make it interesting in the first half, but I think Oregon does enough to pull away with it in pretty easy fashion in that third quarter, and they cover.
I'm a big fan of Dan Lanning, and I think he'll have those guys ready to play like he always does, and so I think it's going to be a pretty same like I said. I think it's going to be over by halftime. I think it's going to be a Oregon landslide.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt Oregon wins, but I want chaos.
Let the record state,
Please.
I will be rooting for James Madison and Tulane to win these 2 games.
Absolutely. All right, let's go quick on these because we need to get these on the record. The famous Idaho Potato Bowl, a couple of 6-6s. Washington State at Utah State. Utah State favored by 1.5. They're playing on the blue turf, so I'm going to go with the blue team, Utah State.
Wazoo let me down when I took them against Oregon State earlier this year, so I'm never going to side with Wazoo in any game ever. Give me Utah State to get it done.
Yeah, give me Utah State. I'm just going to go. I don't really know much about either team, but I'm going to give Utah State the win.
It's a 50-50 vote right now on Twitter, at Mitch the Fort, to vote on Mitch in Vegas as we predict almost every bowl game. Stanton Weber not coaching in the Bush's Boca Raton Bowl could have had a lifetime supply of Bush's baked beans. Roll that beautiful bean footage. Toledo is against Louisville, who Cole just brought up a few moments ago. Cardinals favored by 6.5 because Stanton Weber will not be there to coach the Tulane special teams. I'm going to go Louisville to get it done. Maybe that's disrespectful. No, I'm going to take Tulane. I'm going to take Tulane. That's in respect to Stanton Weber for his work.
Toledo?
For Toledo. It's going to be a win. Last-second field goal. Toledo wins.
I'm using the transitive property, throwback to my math days. Toledo lost to Kentucky 24-16. Louisville just beat Kentucky 41-0. I'll take the Cardinals.
Yeah, give me the Cardinals, too. They have a pretty good offense, too, so yeah, give me the Cardinals.
Maybe one of the more underrated bowls, the New Orleans Bowl. Group of 5 versus Group of 5. Western Kentucky taking on Southern Miss. Give me Western Kentucky to cover 2.5 points. And the people like Western Kentucky.
Southern Miss is on a 3-game losing streak, and that does scare me a little bit, but I've only picked one dog so far, and that doesn't feel quite right, so I'm going to take Southern Miss to get it done here.
I'm in the same as you, Cole. I'm going to pick an underdog here. Give me Southern Miss.
All right, the final game, we just need to get it on the record here, is the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl. UNLV, a 6.5-point favorite at the Star, taking on the Ohio Bobcats. I have no idea who's playing or who's not playing. I don't know a thing about these two teams, but I do know Ohio beat West Virginia earlier this year. Give me the Bobcats plus 6.5.
I don't know if you saw what their head coach did, but I just can't align myself with Ohio after all the reports that have been coming out. He's already been fired. Honestly, it's we're talking Sharon Moore territory in that ballpark. Maybe not the aftermath of it, but the actual things that he did. So I'm going to go with UNLV in this one.
Give me UNLV. Yeah, give me the Las Vegas out there.
All right, sounds good enough to me. We're off all next week, so we will have some more picks that need to be made. That'll be an online-only pick. That'll be on my Twitter account, at Mitch the Fourth. That'll be retweeted by The Game, KMAN, on Twitter.
At least I can't go 3-3 this week. I'm destined for 4-4.
That's true.
Lock it in.
All right, we'll take a break. Be your first 4-win week in a long time, maybe ever. We'll take a timeout and an unaired Meet the Wildcats because we didn't have a bowl game for Power Cat Game Day. That'll be heard coming up next.
Your home for K-State Sports.
Glenn into lead for the record. She got it! She got it! The NCAA record! 61 for Aoka Lee.
This is The Game on News Radio KMAN.
It's time for A Minute with Mitch as we take a moment to discuss football with a play-by-play voice of the Kansas City Chiefs. It's presented by Hy-Vee, the proud official grocery sponsor of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Now that the Chiefs are 6-8 and out of the playoff picture, the focus shifts to the future. And for me, I'm anxious to observe the Chiefs' emergency left tackle, Esapole. In a world of combines, all-star games, pro days, and the NFL draft, there's still some hidden players. Esapole didn't play high school football. He was a basketball player. He went to Chabot Junior College, played a little. He was a computer engineer and a shoe retailer. Washington State took a flyer on S, and he played only 22 games for the Cougars. That's it. The Chiefs signed him as a rookie free agent on May 5, cut him on August 26. Jets claimed him on August 27. The Chiefs got him back on October 25th when the Jets cut him. I don't know where Essa goes from here, but there's a chance he could become one of the NFL's better stories on this Minute with Mitch. Make your next tailgate tail great. Go Chiefs! With help from Hy-Vee, proud sponsor of the Kansas City Chiefs. This football season, find all of your tailgating needs at your local Hy-Vee. From chips and beer to the freshest meat and seafood in town. The culinary pros at Hy-Vee take all of the guesswork out with pre-made dips, snacks, and more. And don't forget to stop by the bakery for a wide assortment of sweet treats. Tailgating has never been easier with help from your local Hy-Vee. Also remember, your local Hy-Vee is the place to find the highest quality beef, hand-selected and sourced from family farms throughout the Midwest. When it comes to beef, Hy-Vee goes the extra mile to bring affordable, tender, and delicious flavor to every tailgate and grill out. Stop into your local Hy-Vee to find Angus Reserve, Choice Reserve, and Prime Reserve beef options for your next gathering. Hy-Vee, proud sponsor of the Kansas City Chiefs.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
There are many times I thought, I can't do this. I mean, what parent isn't worried about? What am I not doing right? What am I not doing enough? And then I realized, wait, that's being a parent.
Don't worry about being perfect. I've had around 3 other mother figures in my life, but only one of them has taught me how a mother loves.
The greatest reward for me is he makes me better every day.
I would tell a family considering adopting a teenager that teenager, whoever it is, needs you, and they need what you have to offer.
Taylor's given me hope. He's our son, and that is what he will always be.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
We are the keepers of the wild, America's original and most invested conservationists. For more than 80 years, we've been committed to conserving wildlife and the natural landscapes that define our nation. From rugged alpine ridgelines to peaceful tall grass prairies, we've supported the conservation of more than 36 million acres of American wildlands. Our funding has led to cleaner water, fresher air, and improved wildlife habitat. From abundant fish and waterfowl populations to robust deer and elk herds, nothing is more important than maintaining wild spaces for adventurers to explore and wildlife to thrive. We are America's hunters and target shooters, stewards of the American outdoors.
America's hunters and target shooters, along with firearm, ammunition, and archery manufacturers, have invested more than $46 billion to help state fish and wildlife agencies manage and protect wildlife and wildlands across America. For more information, visit outdoorstewards.org.
News Radio KMAN weather.
50 degrees and sunny skies currently in Manhattan, with those winds to the south around 14 miles an hour and gusting as high as 23 miles an hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies and a low of around 34, with those winds to the southwest still around 5 to 15 miles an hour. Mostly sunny skies and a high near 50 on Saturday, with those winds changing to the west around 5 to 10 miles in the morning and gusting as high as 20 miles an hour in the afternoon.
What's this, Gavin?
It's Cole's new bed music. March.
I got a couple
Madness.
of beds in there now. This is March Madness from Future.
Oh, excuse me.
It hits different in March, too.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess I'll have to hear the lyrics. It sounds like a weak beat to me, man.
March Madness disrespect won't be tolerated in this household.
I don't think it's bumping by any means.
You could get it bumping in the car for sure.
Okay. All right. Gavin, anybody in Nebraska, do they have subs in their cars anymore?
Subs?
Like subs, like subwoofers, like in the trunk?
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, my. Yeah. Probably Cole?
I know what it is, but,
Man.
Heston, Kansas isn't exactly, there's not a plethora of subs.
I mean, that actually, it kind of should be the play. It's not necessarily a big city thing. It is, I'm sure. At least it was. I mean, in Clay Center and,
Well, it's not a Heston thing. At the
kids
very
had
least.
those. Even if they didn't have cars, they'd have them in their trucks and stuff. Some had big subs, some had small subs.
Not really a Harvey County thing in general, I would say.
And muffler jobs, those were the worst. The fake testicles hanging from the trailer hitch.
There were a few of those.
Man.
I've seen those.
Some pretty rough trends. How do you feel about old Matt Strom? Return to the Royals. Did you know that?
I saw Matt Strom was traded. I had to register what we were even talking about.
He was traded from the Phillies to the Royals.
He
played a while back.
I don't remember him, to be honest. So I'm super happy to have him back on the team.
I mean, wasn't that prior to the World Series run? I think it was.
Is it that long ago?
Yeah, I think so. He's been letting his hair grow ever since, and it's like down to halfway down his back to the numbers.
I'm ecstatic to have him back. The salary dump move is what I saw for. I don't know if it was for the Phillies or for the Royals. I just saw the headline. It was like moved because of salary, basically.
Well, there is a Meet the Wildcats that did not get aired on Power Cat Game Day because I had it in the tank ready to go, ready to be played for the bowl game, and K-State decides not to play a bowl game, which we have Gene Taylor coming on at 5:40. We can get his explanation as to why K-State did not play in a bowl game and why they had to eat $500,000. But it's time to get to know a Wildcat on another level. The one I didn't get to air. He's still a Wildcat for now.
Gotta get it in ASAP.
I haven't seen, I think anything goes at this time of the season, with the transfer portal opening on January 2nd, guys making decisions. I don't think anybody's off limits. So, with that being said, it's with kicker Luis Rodriguez.
We all want to know.
Wait a minute. Who are you? Who are you?
You know who I am. Oh, listen, there's one other thing I wanted to ask you about.
Meet the Wildcats.
Let's meet the Wildcats. So Luis Rodriguez, who was your favorite athlete growing up?
It would have to be Messi. Obviously, being a soccer kid and having a soccer background, I would like to. I looked up to him when I was a kid and just making sure I wanted to be like him.
Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Well, with my dad waking me up pretty early in the morning, I would like to say I turned myself into a morning person, making sure I start with the right mindset every day and just go out and be me.
What's that go-to cheat meal?
Ooh, go-to cheat meal would have to be a 12-piece at Chick-fil-A with mac and cheese.
Favorite Olympic sport?
I like the track sports. The track events, they're really interesting to see and kind of seeing the amazing comebacks, people have in their time.
You're a Cali kid, right?
Yes, sir.
You ever ran into anybody famous?
Ooh, I would probably have to say probably Justin Bieber at the beach. Yeah, there's a lot of people, the celebrities like to go out to the beach and just pass by and saw him.
Are you allergic to anything?
No, I'm not.
You're lucky. You're lucky. Favorite video game?
Probably like the Mario series, just any Mario game. That's how I grew up playing with my sister, and that's probably one of the biggest games we played with each other.
Hopefully playing here now, you've been able to put a few bucks in your pocket. Have you done anything fun with the NIL money?
No, not yet. Saving for a car, but...
What are you afraid of?
Letting down my parents. This is a big thing, They supported me a lot, and just letting them down, I feel like it's a thing that I can't do.
Favorite flavor of ice cream?
Probably some cookies and cream. I feel like it was a go-to for me when I was a kid, and every time my mom asked if we wanted ice cream, I would have said cookies and cream.
All right. Last question: who wins the Super Bowl this year?
I'm a big Niners fan, so I'm gonna have to say Niners.
All right. Always appreciate it. Good luck tonight.
Yes, Thank you so much.
Well, Cole, what do you think about that Niners prediction?
I wouldn't, because they're very injured. I don't think they're going to. I think they're the third best team in their division, but
we did tape this in like October.
Correct, but they've been good. They've been better than the Chiefs were.
Now, Gavin, I'm sure the answer you like the most is running into Justin Bieber on the beach. Is that no?
I am not a Justin Bieber fan.
No?
I heard
Okay.
Gavin's a big Biebs. Off air, though.
Nope.
Off
nope,
air?
Nope. Nope. On air, off air, neither.
Well, I'm trying to think of like who in your who's really popular. I just don't know like influencers. You know, is
Justin
that who
Bieber is? I mean, that would have
I
been
know
our
Bieber
generation,
is.
but that would have been more of the,
I mean,
the
honestly,
girls would have been more
girls, yeah.
interested with Justin Bieber than the
Bieber
dudes.
is honestly he's probably started my generation. I think I was in high school when he started putting out songs.
Baby was like 2008.
Yeah, I would have been
Ish.
a senior or junior in high school.
Somewhere in there. Maybe. I don't know. I'm
was
just
sick-
I don't know when it was released. So.
I was sick of it as soon as it came out, but I don't know if you're like a JoJo Siwa or something, you know.
Oh, brother.
I don't know these people anymore. I don't care.
You allergic to anything?
Penicillin.
Really? You know, my grandpa was the first person in Kansas to use penicillin.
How the hell do you know that?
Because
That's so
it's
random.
been passed down. That story's been passed down.
Okay. Interesting.
In like the 40s.
Well, it was right around the time the dogs went up there to Alaska to get the penicillin and brought it back to the kids.
The
grandpa could have
story's
been
kind of
there.
crazy, to be honest. Yeah.
All right, so you're related to the first guy that got penicillin in Kansas and John Denver.
Elite combo.
Boy, put that up against my relatives. You know,
Jesse Owens.
Jesse and Frank James.
There you go.
We'll take a break. Hour to the game coming up next.
Manhattan Broadcasting is keeping it local. Dollars spent locally today help build a better community for tomorrow.
Quality Collision is still open for business while they improve the intersection by the dam. Dodging a few orange cones is worth it to receive quality restoration. Keep your car looking as good as the day you bought it. Quality Collision, where quality is more than their name. It's a promise to their customers.
Connect to anywhere in the world with daily flights to Dallas and Chicago when you fly local with Manhattan Regional Airport. You'll spend less time driving, saving you gas and time. And more importantly, you'll get home quicker to the ones you love. Click your next flight at flymhk.com.
Peppermint has arrived at Baskin-Robbins. Have it in a scoop or a shake. For a holiday party, bring a peppermint polar pizza and you'll be on the top of Santa's list for sure. Don't forget the eggnog shake and winter white chocolate ice cream while you're in. Baskin-Robbins, locally owned in downtown Manhattan.
Manhattan Broadcasting is keeping it local. Find more great local businesses plus special deals and offers when you keep it local on our website.
Make Blueville Nursery Garden Store your Christmas shopping headquarters. With our wide selection of decor, gardening supplies, and more, we have something for everyone on your list. We also have Christmas trees, live greens, wreaths, and poinsettias to give your home a festive feel this holiday season. We'd like to thank all of our customers for another great year. Blueville Garden Store is open Tuesday through Saturday, 9 to 4. Come give us a visit at Blueville Nursery, where you'll always find a friendly smile and expert advice. Located at the corner of Scenic Drive in Anderson and Manhattan.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Central National Bank reminds you to be hyper-vigilant about scams. You don't want to lose your entire holiday gift budget to fraud. If you do find a suspicious transaction, come into any Central branch. Your holidays will be happier and Christmas will be merrier if you keep your money away from scammers.
Central National Bank. Money for life.
Member FDIC. Money for whatever since 1884.
If you've missed the Kim Commando Show, you've missed a lot.
Yeah, they forced Claude to unlearn all the information it got from the pirated technology.
And it's a $1.5 billion landmark settlement. A reader from the current newsletter sent me a note. He put his name in. He made $6,000.
That's crazy.
Yeah, not bad for getting a free newsletter.
America's digital goddess.
Kim Commando. Kim Commando. Saturday mornings at 9 on News Radio KMAN. KS State Bank wants to be your bank. Find the solutions you've been looking for at ksstate.bank. KS State Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. KMAN, Manhattan.
It's at the first part of this war and peace that there's heavy redactions, distinctively heavy redactions, and it's going to be important to measure tonight whether they've gone too far with that. Now, you have to protect the names of victims. You have to protect sources, sensitive materials. You certainly have to redact any child abuse material.
Many lawmakers on Capitol Hill are angry that not all of the files are being released now as ordered. Barry Levine wrote a book about Epstein, The Spider.
I don't think that a great deal of the public is going to be completely satisfied that we're seeing all the files. They wonder what happened to files related to President Trump. Are they going to go later? Are they going to be missing? We don't know all the answers here. But there's going to be questions about this for years to come.
Authorities said today the suspect in the Brown University shooting and the murder of an MIT professor died of a gunshot wound 2 days before he was discovered late yesterday. Officials still don't have a motive. CBS's Anna Schechter.
There is so little on him on the internet. It's really stunning. Did he scrape all of his presence on the internet prior to this attack?
He was in the U.S. on an immigrant visa, a program Secretary of State Rubio has now paused. Rubio gave a lengthy end-of-the-year press conference today where he was asked about the progress to end the war in Ukraine.
What we're trying to figure out here is what can Ukraine live with and what can Russia live with, sort of identify what both sides' positions are and see if we can sort of drive them towards each other to some agreement.
Talks are expected to continue this weekend in Miami with Ukrainian officials. Christopher Cruz reports more drug companies have promised to lower their prices for Americans.
The president said the lower prices will take effect starting next year.
Every new drug produced by these companies in the future will permanently be offered to American patients at most favored nation prices.
Trump said the U.S. is 4% of the world's population, yet pharmaceutical companies make 75% of their profits here.
For decades, Americans have been forced to pay the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs by far.
Christopher Cruz, CBS News, Washington.
The U.S. military has begun striking ISIS targets in Syria in retaliation for the killings of 2 U.S. soldiers. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth tweeted, "Today we hunted and we killed our enemies. Lots of them." On Wall Street today, stocks finished higher, the Dow up 183. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive. See why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive to stay protected on the road. See for yourself at Progressive.com.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The holidays were tricky for the Colonel. He loved people, but he also loved peace and quiet. So he cooked up KFC's $4.99 chicken pot pie. Warm, flaky, with savory sauce and vegetables. It's a tender chicken-filled excuse to get some time to yourself and step away from decking the halls. Whatever that means. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. KFC's Chicken Pot Pie. The best $4.99 you'll spend this season.
Prices and participation may vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second-guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a Realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
If you're planning to visit the Trevi Fountain in Rome, it'll soon cost you more to get up close.
The city's mayor said today the new payment system will take effect on February 1st. He said the idea is to ease chaotic tourist flows in the area. Rome residents will continue to have free access to the fountain. A major tourist attraction, the fountain was visited this year alone by more than 9 million people. Tradition dictates that visitors who toss a coin into the water guarantee their return to Rome. Sabina Castelfranco, CBS News, Rome.
The Kennedy Center has added President Trump's name to the building. Several blue tarps were hung in front to obscure the work. Then a large D was visible, and eventually the new title, the Donald J. Trump and the John F. Kennedy Memorial Center for the Performing Arts. I'm Cammie McCormick, CBS News.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The holidays were tricky for the Colonel. He loved people, but he also loved peace and quiet. So he cooked up KFC's $4.99 chicken pot pie. Warm, flaky, with savory sauce and vegetables. It's a tender chicken-filled excuse to get some time to yourself and step away from decking the halls, whatever that means. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. KFC's chicken pot pie. The best $4.99 you'll spend this season.
Prices and participation may vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second-guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
News Radio KMAN weather.
Right now in Manhattan, 50 degrees and sunny skies with those winds to the south around 14 miles an hour and gusting as high as 23 miles an hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies and a low of around 34. Mostly sunny with a high near 50 on Saturday with those winds shifting to the west around 5 to 10 miles an hour in the morning and gusting as high as 20 miles an hour. Mostly cloudy and a low of around 30 on Saturday night and going into sunny, mostly sunny with a high near 50.
K-Man Daily Weather is presented by Fox Business Systems. How much does downtime cost you and your business? Don't let another second go by. Call Fox Business Systems at 776-1452. All right, help me out with this one. I feel like I've heard it before.
Played it a couple of times.
Yeah.
This is Drake.
Yep, Drake.
Oh, that's right. I preferred him on Degrassi.
Was he? Did you ever watch that show?
Yeah, my sister was a big fan of it. I don't remember what channel it was on. It's a Canadian kids show, just these kids in school, going through everyday life. It was a drama.
I see.
Yeah, I don't know what to compare it to. I can't even think of anything what that would be. Anyway, yeah. I just remember it was on some channel that we had, and my sister watched it almost every day.
There you go.
Anywho. Hour to the game after work. Mitch Fortner, Cole Dutchendorf, and Gavin Hyatt. We have no shows next week. We are off all of next week. We're giving everybody time off for, obviously, the Christmas holiday. Hope you got your shopping done. Cole?
Oh, it's been done for a while.
I still need to get mine. I still need a shop for my siblings and parents.
See, with my family...
So everyone for you, basically?
Yes, I haven't done a lick of it.
Well, I mean, when I was your age, trying to spend my own money. I worked at a gas station, didn't really have a ton of it. So I was pretty last minute as well. I can still kind of be that way sometimes, though I kind of got after it pretty early this year. Pretty early, like earlier than I usually. I had some ideas.
And I have my wife. I shouldn't be taking full. I have my wife to thank because I like to call her a procrastinator. Where she'll do stuff so far in advance where it's almost too early to be doing this right now.
Well, and with my family, as in my parents and my sister, we don't do gift exchanges anymore. We'll get together, we'll hang out, have some drinks, play some games. We don't. My mom she likes to bake stuff. She'll put together like some Chex Mix and some turtles and things like that and give us a bunch of snacks, but that's about it. We don't do gifts anymore, which I talked to my mom on the phone about it today. It's like, we're just trading money. I've been trying to say that for years. Honestly, yes, gift exchange, it's the thought that counts really, but it also doesn't make any sense for adult to adult.
It's fun, though.
Trade gifts. It can be. Well, on Lindsay's side, we're going to our parents' house for the 25th, and gonna get there in the morning, have a lunch. There's grandkids, so they're gonna open presents. But we're as the adults, we're doing the gift exchange where you draw somebody's name. Secret Santa, thank you. No, Secret Santa, that's right. Yeah. And so we're doing Secret Santa. So I'm just doing the one gift for the one person on her side of the family. Got Lindsay some things. Gonna take care of the kids as well.
Sure,
with a little something. make sure they don't go.
Last year
presents.
was such a layup for Megan and I. We just gave everyone, like, I say everyone, like grandparents and parents, just like wedding stuff. So like mugs that had like wedding pictures on it with them, or like a calendar. Like, it was just layup after layup. So it was a little bit harder this year.
All right, Gavin, does your mom call you and ask you what you want for Christmas?
She sometimes does, because I call her pretty often, but she usually just texts me, like, give me a list, put it in a notes app, whatever. I'll send it to the grandmas, whatever, and we'll kind of divvy it out there. So
I don't have any grandparents left alive, so the Christmas events, as in to go into all these houses, are not very much anymore. There's not a whole lot of gatherings anymore. It's the family is starting to thin out a little bit. So, it can kind of make this time of the year a little tough sometimes, but there's still plenty to do. My mom thought about maybe going out to eat on Christmas. I was like, I don't know if we're going to be able to pull that one off. What's open?
Where are you going to eat?
Yeah, no. I was like, but that's the thing. Like, they just, because her kids, they all got something to do on Christmas, and now they're just kind of left hanging a little bit. I kind of feel bad about that, but, we're doing something for Lindsay's side. Because I'm typically gone for bowl games.
That's right.
And even if K-State played a bowl game this year where they probably would have gone, it wouldn't have been over Christmas. Like, if it would have been...
It would have been like the week after, basically.
Like Independence Bowl, I think that's on the 30th, right? Well, we probably leave on the 26th or the 27th, and we'll get back on New Year's Eve. So that really wouldn't have been a problem at all for the holidays. But last year, let me tell you, when you're at the Rate Bowl and it's Christmas Day, nothing is going on, nothing is open, you're basically stuck in a hotel room all day, that's not very fun.
Was it the 26th last year?
The game was on the 26th. Yes, but they did all the media stuff the day before, and I remember I probably spent 12 hours just sitting in the hotel room trying to figure out something to do. And yeah, could have brought my Xbox something. By the way, that Xbox Bowl yesterday,
the trophy was sick.
That's cool. They had the Halo guy. I can't remember his name. I'm not a really big Halo fan.
Me neither.
But was there to present the trophy, and then the trophy for the MVPs.
That was sick too.
That
was nice.
The achievement icon.
That was nice.
Achievement or whatever put up there with the gamer score, 100 gamer score, offensive MVP. I thought that was a really, really nice.
And they had like an
touch.
Xbox chain too.
When you saw, and then you saw they all got Xbox Allies for their bowl gift, and those things were like $500 a piece.
They had like the Halo dude flipping the coin. It was a pretty nice bowl.
Maybe we'll ask Gene. Gene Taylor coming on at about 5:40. He's squeezing us into his busy schedule right now, so we really appreciate that. He'll wrap up the week for us. He's the main event. We have to ask him if there's time. What could have been the bowl game if K-State did go? But we'll get his explanation as well as to why exactly K-State did not accept a bowl bid after going 6-6, and Chris Klieman decides to. Which I think we obviously know, but maybe more detail. We'll get his opinion on that. We do have more Wildcats into the transfer portal as of today. And again, this is the painful part of this transition. And I said this earlier, even if Chris Klieman was still the guy, was still the head coach here, and Colin Klein was not going to be the guy, and things were pretty normal, with still the coaches being around, maybe some changes here and there. These guys leaving, it could still happen. And, I also wonder, Joe Klanderman, he leaves, he's going to Baylor. Look, that could be a transition for players to go with their defensive coordinator to another school and still play at the same level. Maybe even get a little bit more NIL. You never know. Which maybe that's also another discussion we need to have with Gene as to how the money has been cut up with the revenue share, the $20.5 million, and how much football is going to get. I'm still guessing it's probably around 75%. But maybe if we have time, we'll certainly ask him about that. Ralph Ortiz, linebacker that pretty much just played special teams. He had it's like the only one I've seen in a long time where he had an unnecessary roughness penalty and he wasn't even in the game. And then followed that up with a dropped punt that was scooped up by Ralph Ortiz, and it was a scoop and score touchdown. So pretty quick redemption there. Devin Vass, offensive lineman, he played guard for the Cats. He is into the transfer portal as well. And then this is the one that hurts, right? This is a name you did not want to see, especially with eligibility remaining. He has been with K-State since the Big 12 championship year in 2022. He got his sack celebration from the Sugar Bowl trip to New Orleans, which I've seen this guy. You know, I love New Orleans. I've been down there many times. I've seen this guy many times down there. The guy that just stands still as a statue. And that's what Toby Osunsami has done for his celebration. And now Toby is going to be entering the transfer portal. You know, throughout his career, he has been known as a player that was going to be something special for K-State. He was last year with his 3.5 sacks, 5.5 tackles for loss. He played in 13 games. And then I thought he was going to really take off this year, and I think he showed some glimpses of that. 6 tackles for loss, 4 sacks in 6 games. Unfortunately, though, halfway through he got hurt and did not get to finish the year, and he is jumping into the transfer portal. That's the one that will drive you nuts right now. That's a player that you wanted to keep around. He's very talented. He's a Kansas kid. He was recruited when K-State put a major emphasis on bringing in Kansas kids. Starts playing in 2023, and now he's going to be going somewhere else. So again, that's when I bring it. I don't know if it's going to be, Toby or anybody, but I would just keep this in mind as well, that Joe Klanderman is at Baylor. I wouldn't be surprised if a guy or two did follow him to Baylor, but losing Toby sucks. Made a change, got down to an edge rusher. I think he is a baller. When he's healthy, he's a pretty scary edge rusher. He has started seasons really well. He didn't get to finish it this year. I think that's one, just right now, we miss that. Now I say trust the process. Colin Klein and staff still being put together, still in motion. They're going to obviously replace Toby at some point, but right now it stings.
It's always tough because all of these entrances into the portal are before you can actually get. I mean, obviously we saw a punter from Emporia State commit yesterday to K-State as their first portal get of the 2026 offseason, but the portal doesn't open in terms of like the commitments for Division I until January 2nd. So it's kind of, you're just sitting, seeing everyone leave at the same time. So you get the bad vibes, even though, naturally with just college football in its current format, and also with a changing of the guard at head coach for K-State, you are going to see a lot of portal entries. So it's going to be probably pretty rough to sit back the next couple of weeks and be like, okay, when's it going to end? When are we going to see people stop jumping in the portal? Because you're not going to have those guys that are you're seeing the names coming in return. You're only seeing the exits. You're not seeing any of the entrances. So it's important, as you mentioned earlier in hour one. You need to be patient during these few weeks. You might root for Miami to get Colin Klein, and staff I think is probably a big part of this too at this point, because even if these guys know that Colin Klein is going to be their head coach, they don't know who their position coach is, or which obviously that's not the case for Toby, but doesn't know who the DC is going to be for the upcoming season. And maybe as soon as Coach Klanderman was gone, he was going to be gone no matter what. But it's probably relatively stressful for these players to be in the middle of this transition, and they don't know a ton of what's going to happen for the staff in the future. I assume, conversations being had with Coach Klein and probably Trey Scott at this point as well, but you don't know how much is actually in stone in terms of what is this coaching staff going to look like moving forward. That plays a part in it. There's no doubt about it. So you might be rooting for Miami and just try to be patient after that, because it's going to happen. There's going to be more people who maybe you did expect and probably some that you don't expect to be in the portal that will enter the portal before we get to when K-State starts to see some guys rolling in.
Yeah, and again, it goes to the argument of, I hear people when they say that, I don't call it a travesty, but it does stink that K-State didn't play a bowl game. And I had said that, look, I'm okay if K-State didn't play a bowl game at 6-6, because this is a pretty crucial offseason. That was all before Chris Klieman decided to retire and Colin Klein becomes the guy. Like, that's obviously very exciting. But at 6-6, I still felt you were going to see a lot of guys jump into the portal, even if it's not open, and it's not open until early January. There were guys that were going to declare, maybe a handful of guys declaring for the NFL draft. Guys opt out are not available. K-State's already banged up. I think that's just part of that's some of the layers as to why K-State did not play a bowl game. But now even more significant because you have the coaching change. Guys are being hired. You don't know. We now have more of a clear picture about who's going to be retained and who no longer is going to be position coaches at K-State. Things are changing, and they're moving pretty quickly. Well, where we stand right now, K-State still probably they wouldn't be playing a bowl game for another 11 days. So I think it's pretty clear at this moment why K-State did not play a bowl game.
It would have been a bare bones roster, and also it would have been a bare bones coaching staff. Like there wouldn't have been anyone there to coach.
Probably.
I mean, it would have been, Coach Kleiman said player-led program. You're talking a player-led program for a bowl game.
My recommendation is Varsity Blues it. Just have, Blake Barnett could call the plays.
That's what it would have been.
Avery, of course, is at quarterback, but get a
2-minute offense all game long.
Just hurry up, just run the football, get the game over with, and whoever wants to step up and be defensive coordinator, they could do that. Bare bones it. Mitch Holtis recommended go get some high school coaches from the area and go coach this game.
Well, he said just take the entire Manhattan squad out there, Manhattan High, and get them to play the game.
They want to win another championship after winning state a couple of weeks ago there in Emporia. But, losing Toby sucks. Kansas kid, Wichita East kid, really nice guy, really great guy. He's looking out for himself, though. I bet it wasn't an easy decision to decide to leave K-State, leave this program that he's been a part of for 4 years. But this is the business. This is college athletics. And now, we're still weeks away from the portal opening. We're even more away. We're a month away from the portal closing. So I'm going to give you this warning right now. Nothing right now is off limits. It's kind of technically off limits, but it's not. Agents can say and do whatever to make a move that could be the best for them and may push that as what's best for their athlete that they're covering. It's a very messy business right now. So I think nobody for K-State is honestly off limits until that thing closes in January. So
I think the Devin loss kind of sneaky hurts too because he slid on there on that offensive line, got a few starts over the course of the season.
Yeah, he was all right.
You saw the run game; it took a legitimate jump from when he wasn't starting to when he was. And, K-State kid, this is his third year with the program. I know he was from Florida, so he's pretty far away from home. Maybe he's going to try to get back towards that area, or maybe he just has some opportunities elsewhere. But that one sneaky hurts, too.
Great hair.
He did have great hair. And he had built some momentum over the course of the season on the offensive line.
All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we'll do a little Mitch Palm, our only men's basketball segment of the show with I wonder if there's going to be hardly any fans there. Is there just more interest to watch the college football playoff, watch Colin Klein? His game starts at 11 a.m. The K-State men tip off at 11 a.m.
It's a busy day in sports.
Yeah, against South Dakota. We'll preview that matchup coming up next.
You're in the game on News Radio KMAN.
Happy holidays! Manhattan Broadcasting and the following local businesses would like to wish you and yours a season of joy and holiday cheer.
The Feldkamp's Furniture family wishes you and your family a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. With 50 years of local love, they thank you for being a part of it.
Spread the joy this season at Nesper's Wine & Spirits in West Loop Shopping Center. Great spirits, big smiles, and holiday cheer all around. From all of us at Nesper's, Merry Christmas.
Hey, it's Ian with Central Comfort Air, wishing you a cozy, warm Christmas and a new year full of happiness and comfort. From all of us, stay safe, stay warm, and enjoy the season.
Everyone at Big Lakes wishes you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
From all of us at Manhattan Broadcasting, we wish you and yours a happy holiday and a joyous new year.
Whether it's game day or a night out with great live music, Bottle Cap Sports Bar delivers the atmosphere you're looking for. It's Manhattan's go-to spot for catching every Wildcats or Chiefs game and enjoying live music that plays the songs you actually know. Come early for a good seat, great music, and cold drinks served up right. Stay in the loop. Check out their Facebook page for the full schedule of events. Bottle Caps, where the music's live, the game's always on, and the vibe is just right.
Bottle Cap Sports Bar located on West Anderson across from Dairy Queen. My name is Heidi Dixon. Mom, Jackie Wolf, was the patient of interim hospice. I live in Texas, and after Mom got on hospice, when I came back to Texas, interim was a huge lifeline for me in terms of information. Maria, the social worker, was a dream. Going every other week, sharing a picture and what Mom was doing and what was she saying and what was she looking forward to. And she brought us right into the room with Mom. And she said when she was planning to go next, and as a hospice worker in Texas, I was asking our social workers, are we doing this? This is amazing. She was so engaged with Mom and so connected the dots for us. That was invaluable. Aside from Mom's increasing comfort with the pain management provided by hospice, the social work connection and support, those were the two most visible benefits that I continue to be exceedingly grateful for.
We care, we're there, interim health care.
Manhattan Broadcasting is an equal opportunity employer. In order to widely publicize our job opportunities and outreach programs, and organizations that regularly distribute information to job seekers or refers candidates to employers, please contact us about our employment contact list to receive the most current information about station vacancies. For more information or to be added to the list, please contact Manhattan Broadcasting Company at 785-776-1350. Visit us at 2414 Casement Road in Manhattan, Kansas, or email front desk at 1350kman.com.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
The Ramsey Show.
How do I protect myself from inheriting a timeshare?
So basically a timeshare is a liability. It's a bill. So you're not going to end up owning this because you won't sign the transfer papers. They may take some of the parents' assets because it's very hard to get rid of. And one lawyer calls it legalized fraud. You can't give us enough money to take it. It's a poison pill.
Life and money advice. The Ramsey Show, weekdays from 10 to 1 on News Radio KMAN.
I'm Gavin Hyatt with the Game Sports Update, brought to you by Bottle Cap Sports Bar. Friday has brought 3 new K-State entries into the transfer portal on the football roster. Defensive end Toby Osusami plans to enter the portal, he announced via social media on Friday. The Wichita native played in 6 games for the Wildcats before suffering a season-ending injury versus Baylor. He picked up 4 sacks on the season. Devin Voss, an offensive lineman from Florida, will hit the portal after completing his sophomore season with the Wildcats. Voss played in 11 of 12 games this season for the Wildcats. Linebacker Ralph Ortiz has also entered the portal. Ortiz had a scoop and score off a blocked punt in the Sunflower Showdown against Kansas. Saturday is the penultimate game of K-State men's non-conference schedule, as the 7-4 Wildcats will be in Bramlage Coliseum to host the 7-6 Coyotes of South Dakota. This will be the 11th game in series history as K-State holds a 10-0 record all time. Tip-off at 11 a.m. pregame at 10 on News Radio KMAN and 101.5 K-Rock. 7-6 K-State women's basketball begins Big 12 play on Saturday as they visit 12-0 and number 9 TCU in Fort Worth, Texas. Help us rise at the center position for K-State as 6'4" Slovenian freshman Ivana Skečić is officially with the Wildcats. Pre-game at 3:30, tip at 4 p.m. on News Radio KMAN and Sunny 102.5.
Here's Mitch Ball with tonight's prediction.
And I hope you didn't forget that there's a K-State men's basketball game for the first time in a week, and it's the only one they're going to have in like a span of, let's see, it's like 15 days. One game in 15 days.
Yeah, like Saturday to Saturday to Sunday, I think is their schedule.
It's chilled out because of the holidays. But it is the penultimate non-conference game for the Wildcats. Before they take on, tomorrow they take on South Dakota. The Coyotes are in town. The Wildcats 7-4. South Dakota 7-6. This is a quad 4 game for K-State, so that you expect the Cats to wax the Coyotes on Saturday. Superhero Day, bring the family out, bring the kiddos, and take pictures with a bunch of superheroes. I don't know who's going to be there, but I'm sure some of the bigwigs are going to be there. Some of the cool ones.
Spider-Man.
The ones you've been reading about in the comic books, seeing the movies. Looking at this series history, as Gavin mentioned during the update, Cats, it's been all Cats. 10-0 over the Coyotes all time. The first meeting, though, since 2015, and every single one of those meetings have been in Manhattan. What have the Cats done lately? 7-point win at Creighton, and K-State still the nation's 7th best three-point shooting team in America, 40.5%, and they're led by the country's second leading scorer. I think it's Cameron Boozer Duke, who's the top scorer right now. But PJ Haggerty averaging 22.7 points per game, coming up an 11-point game at Creighton. All right, taking a look at the Coyotes. Again, their record is 7-6. They've won back-to-back games, folks. Wins over Prairie View A&M by 12 points, and Dakota State. No, not North Dakota State, not South Dakota State, Dakota State.
A couple of powerhouses right there.
Division II. And that win was by 9. That was after dropping 3 straight. Now, according to the net rankings, K-State is going to be the second toughest team that South Dakota has seen this season. And their toughest, according to the net rankings, which K-State right now is 61, Wyoming at number 50. Wyoming won that game 106-79. All right, now let's take a look at what South Dakota does as a team. Where they're best. This is what they're going to want to do. And this can maybe, will this create a little bit of a problem? Because K-State hasn't been exactly a great team of defending without fouling. Because what South Dakota is best at is making free throws, getting to the free throw line. They are number 3 in the nation at 21.5 free throw makes a game. 21.5. They are 5th in the country in attempts. 30 a game. 30. Days. It's a lot. It's going to make for a long game if we hit those numbers, folks. What they're good at as well is offensive rebounding. 14.5 per game. That's 21st in the country. All right, now where they're bad at. And they're bad at a lot of things. Defensively, inside the arc, they're terrible. 57% 2-point makes. They allow. That's bad. That's not a good clip. 3-point shooting, not very good. 29.5%. That's no bueno, folks. They really want to get to that free throw line. They make just 5.5 threes per game. K-State doubles that. 11 a contest. All right, really for South Dakota, their success is not about what they do, it's who they do it with. Isaac Bruns, he is a junior. He is one of the nation's top scorers at 20.7 points per game. That's top 30. He leads the nation in field goal attempts, 196 this year, and he leads the nation in free throws. So, he is their bread and butter. He is going to try to get to the free throw line all day against K-State. And by the way, second in the country in total points. He has scored already 269. He's also second in the country in free throw attempts at 106 already this year. Those are insane numbers.
Yeah.
Those are insane numbers. All right, now there's 3 other players on this South Dakota team that's averaging 10 to 13 points. Forget about that. Here's the real matchup tomorrow morning. Cameron Finns versus Doreen Buca. 7 foot versus 7'2". 2 giants. 1 from Italy, 1 from Dubuque, Iowa. But that is where it's going to get the crowd really fired up. If Doreen Buca can shut down Cameron Finns, who does average 10.7 rebounds per game, that's going to be a lot of fun. He's already becoming a fan favorite. I asked the question in the preseason, outside of PJ Haggerty, who is going to become K-State's fan favorite. I think it's Doreen Buca. What do you think? I mean, hey, Gavin, you're in the student section sometimes, right?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
I mean, it sounds like from where I sit, the loudest roars are for Dorian Buka, even when he comes into the game, unless it's Marcus Johnson.
No, I would say it's Buka by far. A 7'2" giant in the court, it's hard to not root for that guy out there, and especially just kind of how he, how do you say it? How he carries himself, you can't go against it. So, Dorian Buka fan.
Gigante Italiano. I don't know. I don't speak a whole lot of languages, but something in that neighborhood. It could be his nickname. Anyway, let's get to famous alumni. This is what's going to really tell us if South Dakota has the chops to make this an interesting game. I couldn't even find 3 good ones. This was maybe the most boring list of famous alumni I've ever seen from a K-State opponent. At least Mississippi Valley State had Jerry Rice. Nobody
that's pulling a lot of weight.
Here is the Jerry Rice of South Dakota. And honestly, this is a cool one, but for you two, you'll have no idea. Tom Brokaw. No clue.
I was so ready to prove you wrong, but I've got no.
Legendary anchorman. Legendary. He was on the NBC Nightly News for a long time. Now, he's retired now, but he's a South Dakota Coyote. And then the only other one I could find is Earl Rose. Earl Rose, when JFK was assassinated, he was the medical examiner for Dallas County. Now, he was not allowed to do the autopsy on JFK. He was going to do it, but he was held at gunpoint and said, no, you cannot do the autopsy on JFK, but he did it on basically everybody else.
My mom is a grad of South Dakota, so you can add that to the list, too.
There you go.
So.
What's your mom's name?
Leslie Hyatt.
Leslie Hyatt. Did she play any sports?
She did not.
What was her degree in?
Social work.
Okay. Leslie Hyatt, you are South Dakota's best shot at winning this game tomorrow. No offense to your mother, who I'm sure is a sweet lady. It's not enough. It's not enough. Ken Palm says 96%. No, I'm not talking about the amount of the Epstein files that have been redacted. I'm saying Ken Palm says a 96% chance of K-State winning this game, 96-76. I think it's a little bit higher scoring. South Dakota hasn't scored less than 78 this season, so they can score some points. Defensively, they're not very good. I got Cats winning 101-79, a win for the Cats, and they get their 8th win of the year.
Yeah, Cats scored in the 90s, hold South Dakota to lower 70s. I don't even have a real prediction, just like a 25, 30-point win for the Cats.
Gavin, are you going? You're in town, right?
I'm leaving tomorrow morning, so I'm going to leave before the game.
Yeah, this is just that time of the year. I wonder about the BYU game. So it's a couple of days after the new year. The second semester isn't in session yet. Do you plan to come back for that BYU game?
I'm not. I'll actually be out of town. But if I was in town, then I might have. I mean,
the other game on the 28th is Louisiana Monroe. Is the second
that
worst,
one should be a barn burner.
Second worst team that K-State will face this year. Wouldn't expect a ton of people. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we are scheduled to be joined by Athletics Director Gene Taylor of K-State after these words.
K-State Sports.
Beasley holds, looks, throws over the middle, pass, caught Morgan at the 5, Quincy Morgan, touchdown! Kansas State, and the Wildcats take the lead!
This is The Game on News Radio, KMAN.
Friends, family, tradition, and something delicious. Make the holidays extra special. Hey, I'm Jake Trumer, head chef of the Friendship House in Wamego. Let the Friendship House handle the delicious in your holiday season. With made-from-scratch cinnamon, pecan, and peanut butter rolls, tea rings, homemade pies, 9 different kinds of cookies, and amazing candy. Call the Friendship House at 456-9616 or stop by to place your holiday order. A tradition in its own right, the Friendship House, 507 Ash, a block east of Lincoln in downtown Wamego.
When severe weather rolls in, every second counts, and we're here to keep you ahead of the storm. Count on us for the latest alerts, live updates, and real-time tracking to help protect you, your family, and your property. From heavy rain and damaging winds to hail and dangerous storms, we'll guide you through the changing conditions and keep you informed when it matters most. Powered by Candlewood Veterinary Clinic, Manhattan Wrecker, Hummel Tree Service, Tallgrass Windows, and Ozone Roofing.
ESPN Radio Sports Beat with Freddie Coleman.
I don't know what we saw last night,
But aren't we glad that we saw it, whether you're a Rams fan, Seahawks fan, football fan, casual or hardcore? What did we actually see last night in the Seahawks comeback win in overtime, 38-37 over the Los Angeles Rams? Seahawks score first. And then the Rams, they kept scoring and kept scoring. They had a 30-14 lead. Then the Seahawks, they come back. Then the Rams scored. Then the Seahawks scored. Then the Seahawks get the 2-point conversion and win a game that is easily not just a candidate for best game of the year in the NFL. It has been the best game in the NFL this season, which is saying something in an NFL season that's had so many twists and turns throughout different games involving different players and different plays and impact here and impact there. That's why the NFL is the biggest, baddest boy in the sports jungle. And last night was another reason why their kingdom is never going to come down. In 60 seconds, happy for Sam Darnold in Seattle.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Oh, there was trouble in Sam Darnold City because it was not looking good for him and the Seattle Seahawks, especially when there were a little murmur of boos early on. When he wasn't playing well, they could not get Jackson Smith and Jigba the ball. The Los Angeles Rams about to take a one-game lead in the NFC West. They had a 30-14 lead. And then sudden Sam showed up, and Jackson Smith and Jigba showed up. And whenever they needed Sam Darnold to make play after play after play, he was able to do that late in the third quarter, definitely in the fourth quarter, and definitely in overtime. No matter what you think of Sam Darnold, there had to be a small piece of you, unless you're a Rams or 49ers fan, that was rooting for him to finally succeed in a big game situation. This way, at least for a week or 2 weeks, he does not have to hear Sam Darnold cannot get it done in big games. Last time they had to have it, he did it for the Seahawks in Seattle. For the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Freddie Coleman of ESPN Radio's Freddie and Harry.
All right, the game continues. Got a few moments here left on a Friday show. We're off all next week, and we are pleased to be joined by the main event of the evening and of the week. K-State Athletics Director Gene Taylor now joins us here on the game. Gene, of course, appreciate your time, as it was officially 2 weeks ago today that Colin Klein was in town for his introductory press conference. So first question, easiest hire of your career? Was there even a negotiation?
Yeah, there's always negotiation, but certainly there wasn't a lot of, process of interviewing, and, obviously we knew who Colin was, we knew who he was as a person, obviously his connections to K-State, all that, and we also knew he really wanted to be here, so it was easy, but there's always the process of getting contracts finalized and all that stuff.
It was about 48 hours, almost to the exact second. That prior to that day, it was Wednesday, and it was also signing day. But also, the word got out, of course, and then it's an exit. It's a retirement. We can call it a retirement announcement with actually Chris Kleiman. And then you stepped up to the podium. It was obviously very emotional to see him go. He got a standing ovation, and you brought up the current state of college football. Was it as simple as that? That was the big reason for Coach Kleiman to exit and retire, because of what is currently a mess in college athletics?
I think it's a combination of things. I certainly think it's that frustration has been building for him over the last couple of years. For a lot of reasons, whether it's the multiple transfers and obviously NIL and just the constant movement of really the goalpost of how the business is being run. And then I think he just realized that it's not what he signed up for. And as he said, I'm not a transactional coach. I'm a developmental coach. I would love the walk-ons. Obviously the change of roster size from 120 to 105. I mean, I think it was a collection of things that he just finally said, I'm not having fun anymore, and I need to kind of step away for a bit and figure it out.
So, for those that I'm sure remember, this is actually the second football coach that is, retired, right, with you as the athletics director. So how does that work out then with the contract of what's left over? Is there now a negotiation on just to work that out with Coach Kleiman to finish up his time here?
Well, not really. I mean, there's obviously very specific language on, if he leaves or, obviously he wasn't. But, there's always contract language about how they depart, and that's all been, finalized. It's in his contract. So now it's just a matter of, what he's going to do next. I mean, we haven't really talked. I figured let him get through the holidays. Does he want to help out in some way? And could we, find a way to compensate him for that? I think those conversations might come again, but I think right now he just wants to get away, spend time with his family for the holidays, and maybe when he gets back, we'll have a chance to sit down and talk and see what things he might want to be interested in doing.
And you had also said at the press conference that you two had a conversation or two about about Chris Kleiman's future. Did Coach Kleiman make the pitch to hire Colin Klein?
No, not really. I mean, obviously, he feels really strongly about Colin as a person and somebody that he thought would be good here. But I just talked more about him, and then I wanted to make sure that we honored him and gave him space to make his decision, and then ultimately, give him the opportunity to say his goodbye, however he wanted to whether it was to the team or publicly like he did. And then, from there, I, sat down and obviously reached out to Colin and started the conversation with him. But, clearly, I think, he knew Colin would be a good fit, and he knew Colin would certainly be interested, but he didn't, push hard for him or campaign for him necessarily.
Well, this weekend, obviously, it's interesting because Colin Klein is still technically the offensive coordinator at Texas A&M, and they play tomorrow morning against Miami. That's an 11 a.m. kickoff, and until then, he's not full-time quite yet as the head coach of K-State football. But, like I mentioned earlier, it's been 2 weeks since he had his introductory press conference. How much time has he spent, as far as you know, in Manhattan doing K-State stuff and getting ready for the future?
Well, that week after we announced him that Friday, he came back, had a couple of days back in Texas A&M and College Station, and then he came back on a Wednesday and stayed here till Saturday, which would have been last Saturday, and did a lot of work with talking to players and talking to our current staff, and then maybe reaching out to potential coaches that we want to hire, and then he went back and has been pretty much uber focused on a mostly daily basis with obviously Texas A&M and the preparation for Miami. But we've had multiple conversations. When he gets out of practice, he'll call and say, "Hey, can you help me with this, or where we are with this particular coach?" And I know he's been making calls to either our current players or future players, particularly the recruits that have signed. I know he spent a lot of time calling those guys. So, I mean, he's working 2 jobs right now, and I give him a lot of credit because that's not easy.
No, I can imagine. And, there's some coaches when they get hired, they just go and work that next job right away, or they finish up their duties with the current team, and then once that season is over, they move on to the next team, which is, the latter is what Colin Klein is doing. How does that work? Was there a discussion about what Colin would be allowed to finish up his time at Texas A&M? Did you guys have that conversation?
Yeah, it was pretty brief. Obviously, I just asked him if that's what he wanted to do, and would Coach Elko, his head coach there, wanting to stay, and the answer was yes. Well, both Elko wanted him to stay, and Colin wanted to do it and finish out the run with Texas A&M, and I was fine with that. I know it complicates things a little bit, but I felt he deserved it. He's going to be in the college football playoff, and I think the team deserved it and didn't want to really upset that process for them. And so it wasn't really much of a long conversation. It was just a matter of, Coach Elko wanted him, which it was, and then us saying, yeah, let's go coach the team as far as you can coach him. And it's both good for us and both good for Texas A&M, in my opinion.
Gene Taylor is our guest, K-State Athletics Director. So, one answer I'm very much interested in hearing about is now since that Colin Klein has been named the next head coach, everybody knows who he is. He is loved here. He is, one of the most famous names through athletics history here at K-State. Has there been an instant donor response, as in, so to speak, like buying into Colin Klein and K-State football?
I think there's just a lot of general excitement, about it, both from donors and season ticket holders. Certainly, again, like you said, his name is so well known, and what he did here as a player and as a coach, and again, just who he is as a person, everybody gets excited about. I think a lot of people just feel like they know him personally, which in many cases they probably do, and have known him for a while because since the time he stepped foot on campus. So, yes, there's generally excitement. I think. I think what I'm hearing from, folks in the ticket office and the Ahern Fund staff is people are looking forward to, when are you going to send out the tickets? And so that obviously drives some excitement, and that'll help going into next year. But, I think it's just about people feel like they know him almost personally because how long he's been here, and that excites people quite a bit.
That, of course, also ties in with now, Wildcat NIL, the NIL portion of this being brought in-house. A lot of folks across the country, a lot of schools across the country are doing that now. I guess where we stand right now, what are the lingering challenges with that aspect of college athletics now, bringing that in-house?
Well, I think we're trying to, reduce the confusion. Obviously, when NIL was very active and very good at what they were doing, Wildcat NIL, it was when we needed that conduit to be able to get money to the players because athletics couldn't pay them directly. So they did a good job working with our donors and finding opportunities for athletes, and whether it be NIL space. But once the revenue share thing became available July 1st, and donors, we wanted to just reduce the confusion on where the money needed to go and what it needed to be for. And we felt having just one source, which is the Ahern Fund, and then Wildcat NIL, their role is going to change significantly. They weren't going to be able to go out and generate dollars for the athlete because everything had to be true NIL. So we just thought it was time, and now we'll have one source of where people can send money, and whether that's donations to the Ahern Fund or working with us collectively to go find true NIL deals, whether it's local companies or bigger corporations to find opportunities for athletes to get true NIL. So just really try to reduce the confusion of what we're doing and try to be all on the same page, going in the same direction.
Another topic I want to bring up here as we got you here for a couple more minutes, Gene, is we talked about it a little bit earlier, but we'd love to hear from you just the reasons why there's no bowl game this year for K-State despite being bowl eligible.
Yeah, I've obviously had a couple of letters and stuff, and people even want to know that same answer, and it just there was so many moving parts. Right now, as you know, Colin has kept very few of the staff, and as soon as they were told they weren't going to be here, they weren't interested in staying as a coach. I guess we could have tried to made that happen. There was a lot of folks, particularly seniors, that once Chris Kleiman decided he wasn't going to coach the bowl game, that they wanted to move on with their career, whether it's to start preparing for the NFL or whatever the case may be. And then you have folks that, said they were wanting to transfer. So when you go through the numbers, all of a sudden between who's going to coach the team and what those numbers look like, it becomes really almost, I don't know if it's a full safety thing, but all of a sudden now you don't have the practice numbers that you need to practice effectively. And you're going to go in there with a much depleted team. And I don't think that's good for individual players. I don't think it's a good look for K-State to go in and play with a team much, less than what they are. And I don't think it's a good look for the Big 12 to send a team to a bowl game that's going to be half of what they, or much less than what they were. And so it was hard. It was the most difficult decision I made in a long time because players worked really hard to get to 6-6. They wanted to go to a bowl game, but things changed so quickly for them, whether it was Coach Kleiman retiring and deciding not to coach the bowl, and then the players just looking around and finding between injuries and everything else that the numbers just weren't there to put a good product on the field. And so it just was the best decision, in my opinion, for the program.
Where did the $500,000 fine come from the Big 12? Was that already like put in place just in case somebody decided to opt out from the bid?
No, that was kind of new. I think it all happened pretty much out of the blue a little bit because I don't think there was any precedent for this. And, obviously we had a lot of conversation with the conference before we made the decision. I actually talked quite a bit to Jamie at Iowa State just to kind of see what their thoughts were. And ultimately we came to the right decision. We didn't know that there was going to be a fine. We figured that, Brett Yomark, our commissioner, said, Gene, I don't know what we're going to do, but there might be a financial penalty, but it wasn't, and there was no anything in a policy or structured. And then once we both opted out in terms of us and Iowa State, then they looked at some precedents and maybe some other conferences, I'm not sure what, and then came up with an amount that I don't say was pulled out of thin air, but it was just the dollar figure that he felt was appropriate, I guess. And I was told that it was based somewhat on the lowest payout of the lowest bowl, which would have been the bowl in Shreveport, and a percentage of that. So right now we've appealed that decision, both us and Iowa State, and we'll see where it goes. But I'm assuming now we'll have a more written policy in the conference about this sort of thing.
Thought it was a crazy high number. Are you able to tell us if there was going to be a bowl trip where that could have been?
Yeah, I think it was either going to be a couple of places, potentially. It was either going to be in Shreveport or maybe back to the Rape Bowl in Phoenix. I think Memphis early on was interested, but then when they, when I was talking to them where Coach Kleiman was, after the Utah game, I think they started getting a little nervous, and then they kind of refocused and started focused on Cincinnati and Navy. I think Navy was always going to be the opponent. And they realized, well, you had that same matchup just a couple of years ago. We'd already played Army, so I think they kind of thought, well, maybe we should just bring in a new team like Cincinnati, and then it boiled down to the Rape Bowl and the Shreveport Bowl.
All right, Gene, we'll let you go. I appreciate you squeezing us into your busy schedule, and I hope you have a happy holidays and a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you here very soon.
All right, same to you guys. Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
All right, that's K-State Athletics Director Gene Taylor. And we got there. We got right there to the end of the show, so let's wrap it up. We appreciate his time very much here on the show. Do you have a quick Ask Us Anything before we go?
What is your ideal time to go to bed?
11.
I mean, you're an 11 guy. I'm a night owl. It's easy for me to stay up midnight, 1 a.m. I'm coming into work at 10, I usually work pretty late. I don't call it the ideal time, it's just the time, But Lindsay, we're on opposite schedules. She is like in bed at 8 o'clock and out at 8:30. I don't know. I don't know if I could ever make that adjustment. Too much going on at night in sports. All right, we got to wrap it up. Have a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and we'll talk to you whatever a week from Monday is. Go Cats.
At Stormontville Health, our patients are our neighbors and our communities our home.
We invest in your health and our community by bringing high-quality healthcare closer to home. From our Wamego Clinic to our new campus in Manhattan and the Flint Hills Hospital in Junction City. Our partnerships with organizations like the Mayo Clinic and the Children's Miracle Network bring top-notch expertise to our region. We take pride in local collaboration to stay connected to our communities. Visit StormontVale.org.
Stormontville Health, high-quality care closer to home.
In Manhattan,